looking at how we operate, there has to be a process. So with the process that happened, looking at the PMC process, because that's what we're talking about, having a process without adequate education leads to what we have today. And I know some of you are belly aching over the fact that we're talking about this. Welcome to the level of uncomfort that Black people often feel. But it shouldn't be hard, because I can defend every vote I take. And when you look at the fact that right is right and wrong is wrong, you have to take that into consideration too. You have to look at that. And I know there are members that, wish they could crawl up under their desk and roll up out of here. I get it. But we got to deal with this today, and we got to call a thing a thing. We have to deal with redistricting. We are the legislative branch. We have to deal with it. There has to be a way for us to have an equitable process. So maybe you didn't like the PMC process. What's the alternative? Could we have had a group of Democrats, a group of Republicans hammer it out, work it with neutral attorneys and try to figure it out? Possibly. But when you look at the fact that I will take Senator Taylor's proposed district for an example. If you look at the way, imagine someone like this. This is the lake. This is Main Street in Menomonee Falls. This would be Senate District 4. You have individuals from Shorewood, 53206 in Milwaukee. My current district at the top, which would be Good Hope Road, Brown Deer Road, in those areas, all the way to almost where, I don't know where you live, Janelle, but Main Street is close by, I'm sure. Going all the way to Ernie Von Schledorn. There is no way that people who live at the lake in 53206 on Good Hope Road and at Ernie Von Schledorn have all of the same interests. You're not going to make me believe that. There are differences in economics. I'm sure Ernie has his economic interests that he takes care of. I'm sure that the level of poverty that exists in certain neighborhoods and zip codes, they would like those instances looked after. I'm sure that when you look at the racial demographic, it gets real interesting to figure out how that all works together. Yet that's what we see that's proposed. If you look at the representative from the 11th proposed district, all the way reaching up into Mequon. Why? That's going across the county line. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. So no rhyme, no reason, just drawing stuff and putting it on a piece of paper and saying, hey, if we do it and throw it up against the wall, let's see what sticks. That's not going to stick. Not in the court system. That's not going to stick when it comes to people's interests. That's not going to stick when it comes to thinking you're going to elect people that look like me. Because if 70% of the 6.4% live in the city of Milwaukee, You don't think that would make it more difficult for people to run and win office? So again, here we are, looking at the court system to help with something that we should be smart enough to do together. Together. Now I hope and I pray that some of my colleagues on my side of the aisle won't be little turncoats like they were in the Senate. But you know, like I always say, the choice is yours. And I know some of my colleagues often say, well, Lakeisha, you don't want to make your fellow colleagues look bad or feel bad. It's not about making anybody look bad or feel bad. It's about doing what's right. It's about doing what's right for the people that elected us to be here. It's about doing what's right for the constituents that we have. All 6 million of them in our state. So again, I'm a no, a red button, jump up and down and say no. However you want to say it. Hip hop hooray, no. I'm all of that. For any map that violates the Voting Rights Act. Any map that takes away minority-majority districts. Any map that takes away equitable representation for people of color. Any map that does that. And if you can't understand that, I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to tell you. Because it's a simple reason. It's just not going to work. That goes for everybody in here. It's not going to work. You can't make it work. 2 + 2 does not equal 5, ever. It's not going to work. So I hope we can all say this is a big red on this amendment. So just understand that. It will be a red for me. And hopefully the majority of my colleagues will vote red on this. I think we can all be united on that. It should be red. It should be red on any other map that's presented today that does not follow the Voting Rights Act. That's going to be red too. We talk about a fair and equitable process. Let's figure out the process together. Figure out the process. But at this point, I guess the court got to figure out the process. So God bless the court. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Leader from the 9th.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today because this is an issue